Arbitration in the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas, using the short form complaint. Allegheny County Law Library, copyright 2021. Warning about your legal rights. Self-represented litigants are held to the same standards as attorneys admitted to the bar of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Representing yourself does not exempt you from understanding and following statewide and local rules of court. For your protection, be sure to verify you have met all up-to-date requirements by contacting your local county court administration. Source: www.pacourts.us/learn/representing-yourself. Disclaimer: no two legal cases are alike. The information in this presentation is not intended to be used as a substitute for advice from a licensed attorney and may not be appropriate for your situation. No attorney-client relationship is created between the ACLL or its staff and any party viewing, reading, listening to, or otherwise making use of information in this presentation. For assistance with finding an attorney, you may contact the ACBA Lawyer Referral Service, 400 Coppers Building, 4367 7th Avenue, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15219. Phone number 412-261-5555. Email lrs@acba.org. www.getapittsburghlawyer.com. Introduction. This presentation is about how to use the short form complaint for a small claim lawsuit in the Civil Division of the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas, Pennsylvania. Small claim suits are assigned to the arbitration docket of Civil Division. Topics include certain state and county rules of court, locating and completing legal forms, filing forms and serving process on other parties to the case. Contact information for the ACLL is at the end of this presentation. Note: this presentation does not cover every topic related to small claim cases and the short form complaint. For example, it does not discuss counterclaims or landlord-tenant cases. Abbreviations and symbols used in this presentation: ACLL, Allegheny County Law Library; DCR, Department of Court Records, sometimes called the Prothonotary; MDC, Magisterial District Court; MDJ, Magisterial District Judge. The icon for party tells you who needs to fill out a form or part of a form. The icon for deadline alerts you to a deadline in the court rules. The icon for caution alerts you to be careful. The icon for remember alerts you to remember. The icon for an instruction alerts you for an instruction for filling out a form. And the icon for attention draws your attention to a point in the presentation. Small claim cases and arbitration. In the Allegheny Court of Common Pleas, small claim cases are heard on the arbitration docket in the Civil Division. A small claim case is a lawsuit for less than $3,000 exclusive of interest and costs. Some small claims cases are heard first in a magisterial district court. If either the plaintiff or the defendant then decides to appeal from the magisterial district judge's final judgment, it becomes the plaintiff's responsibility to file a complaint on the arbitration docket of the Civil Division of the Court of Common Pleas of Allegheny County. Sometimes a plaintiff does not go to magistrate's court at all. Instead, the plaintiff decides to go straight to arbitration. To do this, the plaintiff must file a complaint. 2. The parties. The party that is suing is the plaintiff. The party that is being sued is the defendant. There can be more than one plaintiff in a case, and there can be more than one defendant in a case. The remember icon. For appeals from a magistrate's court, the plaintiff in magistrate's court is also the plaintiff in arbitration, and the defendant in magistrate's court is also the defendant in arbitration. Sometimes a defendant responds to a plaintiff's complaint by filing a complaint against the plaintiff on the same matter. These are called counterclaims or countercomplaints. Counterclaims are not discussed in this presentation. 3. Legal procedures and rules of court. On the left, you will see an image of the cover of the state rules called the Pennsylvania Rules of Court, Volume 1, State. On the right, you will see the cover page of the local rules called the Allegheny County Civil and Family Court Rules. Hard copies of the rules are available in the ACLL. URLs for locating the rules on the internet are on the next slide of this presentation. Remember, all parties to a lawsuit are required to follow the state and local rules of court. The rules of court include the procedural rules for where to file documents and how to serve, deliver, the documents to other parties. The rules state what types of forms must be used. The rules also contain important deadlines. Caution! This presentation does not discuss every court rule that applies to arbitration complaints. Some of the procedural rules for arbitration cases are published in the Pennsylvania Rules of Civil Procedure, abbreviated as PAR Civ P. Copies of the Pennsylvania state rules are available in the ACLL and at www.pacodeandbulletin.gov. Other procedural rules for arbitration cases are published in the Allegheny County Local Rules of Court, abbreviated as LR. Copies of the local rules are available in the ACLL and at www.alleghenycourts.us. Also useful, Arbitration Practices, Allegheny County Civil Practice Manual, 13th edition, available at www.alleghenycourts.us and at the ACLL. 4. Documents and forms. In order to file a complaint, the plaintiff needs the following. 1. The complaint. 2. The filing fee, or assigned in forma pauperis, also called IFP, court order, if unable to pay the fee. 3. A copy of the notice of judgment/transcript signed by the magistrate, for cases on appeal from magistrate district courts only. For information about filing fees or about applying for an IFP order, contact the Department of Court Records at 412-350-5729 or visit www.alleghenycounty.us. 5. Obtaining legal forms. The Department of Court Records, or DCR, of the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas Civil Division has certain forms. Some forms are available at www.alleghenycounty.us. Still other forms are on the Pennsylvania Unified Judicial System website, or www.ujsportal.pacourts.us. In some situations, You need to draft, meaning write or type using your own words, a document yourself. ACLL staff may be able to assist you with locating legal forms. 6.1 General Information. A complaint is made up of several forms. One of the forms is called the complaint, but other forms must be included for the DCR to allow you to file the complaint. In small claim cases, the complaint consists of the following forms: the Pennsylvania Supreme Court cover sheet, the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas Civil Division cover sheet. 3. The notice to defend, notice of hearing date, and notice of duty to appear at arbitration hearing forms. 4. The notice of intention to appear at arbitration hearing form. 5. The complaint. Note, the plaintiff has the option of using the short form complaint when suing for less than $3,000. 6. The certificate of compliance form. 6.2 Short form complaints and long form complaints. The short form complaint. A. For cases where the plaintiff is asking the court to award them an amount under $3,000, not including costs and fees. The long form complaint. A. For cases where the plaintiff is asking the court to award them between $3,000 and $35,000, not including court costs and fees. The short form complaint. B. Is a fill-in-the-blank form. The long form complaint. B. Is not a fill-in-the-blank form. The plaintiff must write or type the complaint and must decide what to say in it. The short form complaint, C, is available at the DCR and at www.pacourts.us. The long form complaint, C. Allegheny County Law Library staff can help you locate an example of a long court complaint for a situation similar to yours in the library's form books. Attention! ACLL staff can help you locate information about allowable court costs and fees. 7.1 The complaint. The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania Court of Common Pleas cover sheet. To be filled in by the plaintiff. This form is available at www.pacourts.us. www.alleghenycounty.us, the DCR, and the ACLL. For more information about this form, see Pennsylvania Rules Civil of Procedure 205.5. Here is the top half of the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania civil cover sheet. Area 1 is where you fill in the name of the county. Area 2 is where you indicate the commencement of the action or how you started the case. In arbitration, the commencement of the action is normally a complaint. Area 3 is for the parties' names. Area 4 asks whether money damages are requested. In arbitration cases, money damages are nearly always requested. In Area 5, you have to indicate whether the dollar amount requested is within arbitration limits or outside arbitration limits. In Area 6, you answer the question, is this a class action suit? Arbitration suits are never class action suits. In Area 7, you answer the question, is this a magistrate district judge appeal? Some arbitration cases are MDJ appeals, some are not. In Area 8, you fill in the name of the plaintiff. or the appellant's attorney, if the case is an MDJ appeal. If you're the plaintiff and you have no attorney, meaning you are a self-represented or pro se litigant, you will check the box underneath the words name of plaintiff. Here is the bottom half of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court civil cover sheet. The instruction reads, nature of the case. Place an X to the left of the one case category that most accurately describes your primary case. If you're making more than one type of claim, check the one that you consider most important. The term primary case comes up in a situation where a plaintiff sues on multiple causes of action. The main cause of action for the lawsuit is the primary case. For example, a lawsuit for professional liability and breach of contract might go under either professional liability or contract other. The plaintiff must choose one. (7.2) The complaint. The Allegheny County Civil Division cover sheet. This form must be filled in by the plaintiff. It is available at www.alleghenycounty.us, the DCR, and the ACLL. For more information about this form, see Local Rule 205.2b. Here is the top half of the Civil Division cover sheet. In Area 1, the plaintiff must fill in their name. In Area 2, the plaintiff must fill in the defendant's name. In Area 3, the plaintiff must fill in the type of pleading. A pleading is a formal written statement, such as a complaint or an answer filed with the court. This type of pleading is a complaint. In Area 4, the plaintiff must fill in who this pleading is filed on behalf of. In this case, it is filed on behalf of Luna Lovegood, the person that we are using as the plaintiff in our example of the case of Luna Lovegood versus Severus Snape. Here is the bottom half of the Allegheny County cover sheet form. In Area 1, check pro se if you are not represented by a lawyer. In Area 2, you, the plaintiff, must fill in your name, address, and telephone number. If you are represented by an attorney, the attorney would fill in their name, address, and telephone number in Area 2. 7.3. The complaint. The notice to defend, hearing notice, and duty to appear at arbitration hearing forms. These forms must all be filled out by the plaintiff. For more information, see Local Rule 1320 and Form 1320A. Source: www.alleghenycourts.us. This form can also be obtained at the ACLL. Here is the notice to defend part of the form. This slide has two caution icons and a remember icon. The caution icons say know your deadlines and know your opponent's deadlines. The remember icon is beside always consult the rules of court if you or another party misses a deadline. There is also a deadline icon. We will come to that in a moment. In Area 1 of the form, the plaintiff fills in the plaintiff's name. In Area 2 of the form, the plaintiff fills in the defendant's name. Area 3 of the form is for the case number. If you do not have a case number, the DCR will provide one. The notice to defend is a notice to the defendant, and it tells the defendant, you have been sued in court. If you wish to defend against the claims set forth in the attached copy of the suit papers, you must complete and detach 2 copies of the attached notice of intention to appear. 1 completed copy of the notice of intention to appear must be filed or mailed to the Prothonotari's or DCR's office, First Floor, City County Building, 414 Grant Street, Pittsburgh, PA 15219. And the other completed copy must be mailed to. There is a blank area where the plaintiff must write in his or her address. Within 20 days from the date these papers were mailed. That is why we have a deadline icon on this slide. You are warned that if you fail to do so, the case may proceed without you, and a judgment may be entered against you by the court without further notice for any money claimed in the complaint or for any other claim of relief requested by the plaintiff. You may lose money or property or other rights important to you. You should take this paper to your lawyer at once. If you do not have a lawyer, go to or telephone the office set forth below. This office can provide you with information about hiring a lawyer. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, this office may be able to provide you with information about agencies that may offer legal services to eligible persons at a reduced fee or no fee. Lawyer Referral Service, the Allegheny County Bar Association, 436 7th Avenue, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15219. Telephone 412-261-5555. This slide shows the hearing notice. And once again, there's a deadline icon on this slide. The hearing notice is also a notice to the defendant, and it tells the defendant, you have been sued in court. The above notice to defend explains what you must do to dispute the claims made against you. If you file the written response referred to in the notice to defend, a hearing before a board of arbitrators will take place in courtroom 2, 7th floor of the City County Building, 414 Grant Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on, and there's room for a date and year, at 9 a.m. If you fail to file the response described in the notice to defend, a judgment for the amount claimed in the complaint may be entered against you before the hearing. Duty to appear at arbitration hearing. If one or more of the parties is not present at the hearing, the matter may be heard at the same time and date before a judge of the court without the absent party or parties. There is no right to a trial de novo on appeal from a decision entered by a judge. A trial de novo is a trial in a higher court in which all the issues of fact or law tried in a lower court or tribunal are reconsidered as if no previous trial had taken place. Source, www.merriam-webster.com. The rest of the duty to appear at arbitration form states notice. You must respond to this complaint within 20 days. Well, 20 days, that's why we have a deadline icon. Or a judgment for the amount claimed may be entered against you before the hearing. If one or more parties is not present at the hearing, the matter may be heard immediately before a judge without the absent party or parties. There is no right to a trial de novo on appeal from a decision entered by a judge. 7.4. The complaint. The notice of intention to appear. This form must be completed by the defendant. 3 copies are required. 1 copy for the defendant to complete, 1 copy for the defendant to send to the plaintiff, and 1 copy for the defendant to file in the DCR. For more information, see Local Rule 1320 and Form 1320B. Source, www.alleghenycourts.us. Here's a closer look at the Notice of Intention to Appear form that the defendant must complete. The form states, to the plaintiff or the plaintiff's attorney, I intend to appear at the hearing scheduled for the above date and defend against the claim made against me. I do not owe this claim for the following reason. And there we come to Area 1, where the defendant can state their reason why they don't owe the claim. I certify that I have mailed a copy of this notice to the plaintiff or the plaintiff's attorney. Area 2 is where the defendant writes the date. Area 3 is where the defendant signs the form. And Area 4 is where the defendant writes their own address. 7.5. The short form complaint. Plaintiffs fill out this form. In Area 1, the plaintiff fills out their own name. In Area 2, the plaintiff fills out the defendant's name. In Area 3, the plaintiff fills out the case number if there is already a number for this case. Area 4 is for the hearing date, which will be supplied by the DCR. Area 5 is where the plaintiff fills out the plaintiff's address. Area 6 is where the plaintiff fills out the defendant's address. Here is the bottom half of the short form complaint form. It begins with the instruction, state briefly and concisely the nature and amount of the claim. On or about, explain your lawsuit. In Area 1, you have room to explain your lawsuit. If you need to, you may add additional pages. This form continues. Wherefore, plaintiff claims damages from the defendant in the sum of, and then there is Area 2, where you write the dollar amount that you're suing for, and or possession of the premises in a landlord-tenant suit. Area 3 is for the plaintiff's signature. Area 4 is for the plaintiff's typed or printed name. Area 5 is for the plaintiff's address. There is a deadline icon on this page beside the words. Notice, you are hereby notified to return notice of intention to appear within 20 days from service hereof, or a default judgment or award may be entered against you. So that is a notice to the defendant of a deadline for the defendant. 7.6. The complaint. The Certificate of Compliance form. The Certificate of Compliance form says, I certify that this filing complies with the provisions of the public access policy of the Unified Judicial System of Pennsylvania, case records of the appellate and trial courts, that require filing confidential information and documents differently than non-confidential information and documents. In Area 1, you can simply write plaintiff. In Area 2, the plaintiff signs the form. In Area 3, the plaintiff prints or types the plaintiff's name. For more information, see the Case Records Public Access Policy of the Unified Judicial System of Pennsylvania at www.alleghenycourts.us and at the Allegheny County Law Library. 8.1. Filing and serving legal documents. General information. Filing a document or form in a court case means delivering it to the Department of Court Records, the DCR, in the City County building in downtown Pittsburgh. Serving a document means delivering it or making sure that it gets delivered to someone else. Notice the remember icon. Always check the rules of court to learn the correct manner of service for documents. Some documents must be served by the Sheriff's Department, while others may be served by United States Mail or in other ways. 8.2. Where to file legal documents. Legal documents are filed at the Department of Court Records, City County Building, 414 Grant Street, main floor, Pittsburgh, PA 15219. On the left of this screen, towards the bottom, there is a map of the downtown area around the City County Building. To the right of the screen, on the bottom, there is a photograph of the front of the City County Building. 8.3. Filing and serving the complaint. The plaintiff is responsible for making sure that the complaint is properly filed and properly served. 1. When the plaintiff files the complaint at the DCR provides envelopes with the DCR's return address to the plaintiff. The plaintiff addresses the envelopes to the parties listed below. A. All defendants. B. All other plaintiffs. And C. The magisterial district judge, if the case is an appeal from a magisterial district court. 3. The plaintiff takes the envelopes addressed to the defendants to the Allegheny County Sheriff's Department and pays the fee for a sheriff's deputy to serve the complaint on all the defendants. The DCR mails all the other envelopes. Frequently asked questions. What happens next? The hearing usually happens next. However, this may not be the case if one of the parties misses a deadline or if a party brings a pretrial motion or petition before the court. What should I do if I miss a deadline for filing or serving a document? The ACLL staff can help you locate information in the rules of court. What should I do if another party misses a deadline for filing or serving a document? The ACLL staff can help you locate information in the rules of court. What should I expect at my hearing? The ACLL staff can help you locate information about arbitration hearings. Who are the ACLL staff? The ACLL staff are trained professional law librarians with more than 100 years of legal research experience combined. How can the ACLL staff help me? The ACLL staff can help you locate laws, including court rules and many legal forms in the library and on the internet. Can the ACLL staff help me, even if I am unable to visit the ACLL in person? The ACLL staff is often able to help people locate the information they need over the phone or by email. There are other situations when people must visit the library to receive assistance. How do I contact the ACLL staff? We thought you'd never ask. Contact us. The Allegheny County Law Library, City County Building, 414 Grant Street, room 921, Pittsburgh, PA 15219. Phone number 412-350-5353. Email acll@duq.edu. Website www.acllib.org. Between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Monday and Friday, we are open. We are closed, however, on court holidays. We strongly recommend making an appointment in advance of your visit to receive individual assistance from a librarian. We hope this Allegheny County Law Library presentation has been helpful to you.